In this movie, I'll show you how to downsample, that is to say, reduce the number of pixels inside of an image for print. Now, at first, this may seem like a daft idea. If upsampling an image is a destructive modification, then downsampling an image must be doubly so. But the truth of the matter is, while you rarely upsample an image inside Photoshop, you commonly downsample. And the reason is this. Imagine that we're working in a production environment, and you want to print this image at 12 inches wide. Well, you don't want to hand off this gargantuan file to a designer who's going to lay it out into a print document or to a commercial printer because it's going to take forever to upload and it's just going to waste everybody's time. Instead, what you want to do is scale the image according to its destination. Now, that is not to say that you want to permanently harm the file. So here's what I recommend you do. Start things off by going up to the image menu and choosing the duplicate command, and that way you don't run the risk of harming your original. And you can call it anything you want. I'll call mine my downsampled file, but you can always change this name when you save the image. Then click OK. The next step, if your image contains layers, would be to go up to the layer menu and choose Flatten Image. For me, this command is dimmed because the image is already flat. And then finally, you would go ahead and downsample the file. And we'll do that by going to the image menu and choosing the image size command. This time, you want to turn the resample image checkbox on. And let's just go ahead and dial in those values. I'll take the width value down to 12 inches, and I'll enter a resolution value of 360 pixels per inch. And the reasoning there is we have so many pixels to work with in the first place. I could take it down to 267 if I know I'm working with 133 line screen frequency. But let's say I'm not really sure how this is going to print. The most conservative thing to do is take it down to 360 because that's going to work great with high-end inkjet printing as well. And you'll see here inside the preview that we are reducing the size of the image because here's the Tyrannosaurus's head at 100%. Before, we couldn't even take in both of his eyes. Notice also that the physical dimensions of the image shrink and the size of the file in memory goes down from about 166 megabytes to somewhere between 36 and 37 megabytes. So it's a big savings as well. And now you want to go ahead and click the OK button in order to accept that change. And if I press Control 1 or Command 1 on a Mac to zoom into the 100% view size, we still have some great detail inside this file, as you can see. And then I'll just go ahead and press and hold the H key and drag up to this portion of the image in order to see this detail that we've been checking out in the past. And everything's holding up great. We've got really some nice sharp detail that's left over here, and we have a very small file. Just for the sake of comparison, let's say that I wanted to upsample that original very small version of the file with just 580,000 pixels to match the size of the one that we just downsampled. Then I would return to the image menu, choose image size, make sure that resample is still turned on and set to automatic, and then I'll take the width value up to 12 inches and I'll tab down to the resolution and take it up to 360 pixels per inch. And if I scroll over to the Tyrannosaurus here, you can see while I'm clicking and holding that had we just blown up the pixels, that would look pretty cruddy. But even with the new Preserve Details option, the results of the upsampling look pretty darn gummy. Anyway, I'll go ahead and click OK in order to accept that modification, and then I'll press and hold the H key in order to scroll over to this part of the Tyrannosaurus's head right here. And now, just for the sake of comparison, here's the upsampled version of that small file, and here's the downsampled version of the high-resolution file. They both have exactly the same number of pixels, and yet obviously the one that we scanned at a high resolution and then downsampled has a better spatial resolution. It's always going to look better. All right, and now that you've created this downsampled version of the file, you'd go up to the File menu, choose the Save command, and go ahead and save that image to disk, knowing full well that there's no chance you're going to ruin the original image, which is still alive and well right here. So that's how you downsample an image for print, which is a very common operation in Photoshop. In the next movie, I'll show you an equally common operation, how to downsample an image for email or social media.